Welcome children. Now in this fourth video on electrolysis we are going to continue this topic, preferential or selective discharge of ions at electrodes. So children, we are studying about the electrolysis. We know that the positive ion moves towards the cathode and the negative ion moves towards the anode and they get discharged over there. So children, the question arises, if we have more than one positive ion or more than one negative ion, then which ion is going to get discharged first on the electrode? That is called the preferential or the selective discharge of ions at electrodes. So children, here it says, when two or more ions of the same charge are present in a solution of an electrolyte under identical conditions and are competing for discharge at the same electrode, one of them gets preferentially discharged. This is known as selective discharge of ions. Now children, selective discharge of ions depends on three factors. Number one, or A, the relative position of ions in the electrochemical series or activity series, which we studied in the last video, the relative concentration of ions, and the nature of electrodes. So children, the first point is the relative position of ions in the electrochemical series. If all other factors are constant, any ion lower in the electrochemical series gets discharged at the relevant electrode in preference to those above it. For example, in electrolysis of copper sulfate, the ions present in copper sulfate aqueous solution are positive ion or cations are copper ion and hydrogen ion, and negative ion or anions present are sulfate ion and hydroxide ion. So at cathode children, copper ion positive and hydrogen ion, which is also a positive ion, they migrate towards the cathode, that is towards the negative electrode, but copper ion being lower in the electrochemical series will be discharged. So copper ion will get discharged, that is copper ion will gain 2 electrons from cathode and they will become a copper metal. And at anode children, hydroxide ion and sulfate ion both will migrate towards the positive anode, but hydroxide ion being lower in the series will be discharged, and so hydroxide ion will lose its electron to form OH, and two OH will combine to form one water molecule and one oxygen atom, and again two oxygen atom will combine together to form oxygen molecule. So oxygen gas will be released at anode. Now children, the second point is that concentration of ions in the electrolyte. If an electrolyte has much higher concentration of a particular ion, then the ion will be discharged at the relevant electrodes in preference to those ions which are lower in the electrochemical series but are present along with. So for example, if we say that electrolysis of concentrated NaCl, in concentrated NaCl is more in concentration than water. So the ionic equation will be NaCl will break into sodium ion and chloride ion, and the water present in it will break up into hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. And we can say that at cathode children, the sodium ion and hydrogen ion or hydronium ion migrates to cathode, but despite high concentration of sodium ion, hydrogen ion gains electron more easily than sodium ion, as so hydrogen is evolved at cathode, and this is the cathode reaction which is given here. Hydrogen ion plus electron gives hydrogen atom, and two hydrogen atom combines to form a hydrogen molecule. Then children, at anode both chloride ion and hydroxide ion migrate to the anode, but the concentration of chloride ion is much higher than that of hydroxide ion. Hence chloride ion is discharged, although hydroxide ion has lower position in the electrochemical series. So a chloride ion is going to lose its electron to form chlorine atom, and two chlorine atom will combine together to form a chlorine molecule. And the third point children is nature of electrodes used. So children, the electrodes which we use can be an inert electrode or an active electrode. So electrode used in the process of electrolysis are either inert. Inert electrode do not take part in electrolysis, but if they are active children, they also take parts in the electrolysis. The electrodes used to determine the ion preferred for discharge. If inert electrode like graphite and platinum are used, they will not take part in the electrolytic reaction. The electrolysis will thus depend only on the above two factors, that is position in the electrochemical series and concentration of ions. But the active electrode like copper, nickel, silver is used, it takes part in the electrolytic reaction and the product form is different. For example, in electrolysis of copper sulfate solution, if active electrode copper is used, then copper atom is deposited at the cathode and copper ions are formed at the anode. If inert electrode platinum is used, then instead of copper ion, oxygen is formed at the anode, and this we are going to study in detail in the later part of this chapter. Now children, we come to the electrolysis of different compounds which are there in the syllabus also. And children, first is electrolysis of molten lead bromide. Lead bromide children is PbBr2. But children, lead bromide is a solid compound and it can be melted only at about 380 degrees centigrade or above 380 degrees centigrade. Then it forms into a molten state or it changes into a liquid state. So the temperature is to be maintained above 380 degrees centigrade. The melting point of lead bromide is maintained by continuous heating by the burner. So children, this is the figure given for the electrolysis of lead bromide. Children, there is a graphite crucible or a silica crucible which is given. Crucible children is an apparatus which can withstand high temperature and it is used for boiling and heating. So we put lead bromide in this crucible and we heat it with a burner and we maintain a temperature above 380 degrees centigrade. Now children, in this electrolytic reaction we use the graphite rods or the graphite electrodes, the graphite cathode and the graphite anode. And graphite children, as we all know, is an inert electrode. It will not take part in the chemical reaction. So children, crucible is made up of silica and it can withstand high temperature. And electrodes are the cathode and anode are both made up of graphite plates which are inert. They are connected to copper wires to the two ends of the battery. And children, when this lead bromide forms a molten state, it ionizes into, or we can say dissociates into, lead ion and bromide ion. So lead ion and bromide ions are present in this solution. So at cathode children, the lead ion, which are the positive ion, will move towards the cathode and cathode is going to donate 2 electrons to one ion of lead and it will form a lead metal. And at anode children, the bromide ion is going to go towards the anode and at anode it is going to give its 1 electron, it is going to form a bromine atom and 2 bromine atom combines together to form a bromine molecule, and this at this temperature children, it is going to form a gaseous state and it is going to get liberated. So observation children, dark reddish brown fumes of bromine evolves at anode and bromine gas we see that it is coming out from the anode and grayish white metal lead is formed on the cathode. So the explanation is, when the current is turned on, the positive lead ion migrate towards the cathode. They take 2 electrons each and become neutral lead atom. The negative bromide ion comes in contact with anode, give an electron each and become bromine atom. These 2 atoms of bromine combine to form bromine molecule. Note children, since silica gel is a non-reactive, hence an electrolytic cell is made up of silica. It can withstand high temperature and is almost a non-conductor of electricity. The silica crucible is heated slowly from outside. Then solid lead bromide is a non-conductor of electric current since its ions are not free but held together by electrostatic force of attraction, and the ions become free when lead bromide is in the fused or molten state. Hence the crucible is heated from outside to keep lead bromide in the molten state. Graphite anode is preferred to other inert electrodes such as platinum, since graphite is unaffected by the reactive bromine vapor. So that is why we don't use platinum, that is also an inert electrode, so graphite is used, children. Then children, the next is electrolysis of water. But children, as we all know that water is a non-conductor of electricity, so we can't do electrolysis of water. What we do, we add a little bit of dilute sulfuric acid to water. So we say that we are doing the electrolysis of acidulated water and not water. Acidulated water means water and dilute sulfuric acid. So electrolysis of acidified water using platinum electrodes as shown in this figure, children. Note, acidified water is water plus dilute sulfuric acid. Dilute sulfuric acid is preferred because it is non-volatile, while dilute nitric acid or hydrochloric acid are volatile acid. Children, volatile compounds are those compounds which forms vapor at the normal condition of temperature and pressure, and non-volatile they do not form. So electrodes are platinum foil which are inert, connected by copper wires to two terminal of a battery. Now children, ionization of water. Water is a non-polar, non-conductor of electricity. It consists almost entirely of molecules. It is a polar covalent compound and can form ions when traces of dilute sulfuric acid is added. As dilute sulfuric acid catalyzes this ionization, hence electrolysis of acidified water is considered as an example of catalysis. So children, here we see that the apparatus used, children, is different from the apparatus we used in other electrolysis. We are going to discuss this also, children. First of all, we say that electrolysis of acidulated or acidified water using the platinum or platinum electrodes. Children, here we set up the apparatus as this, and ionization takes place. Ionization of acidulated water, water breaks up into hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion, and sulfuric acid breaks up into hydrogen ion and sulfate ion. So the positive ion present in the solution are hydrogen or hydronium ion, and the negative ions present are hydroxide and sulfate ion. Now children, we see that particles present are H ion, OH, negative ion, SO4, sulfate ion, and water molecules also. So reaction at cathode, children, hydrogen ion being the only positive charge ion migrate to the cathode. Since the cathode is a reservoir of electron, hydrogen ion gain an electron and become a neutral hydrogen atom, and hydrogen atom combine to form a molecule, and this comes out as hydrogen gas, and this gas is liberated at the cathode. Then children, reaction at anode, the sulfate ion and hydroxide ion both migrate to the anode, and hydroxide ion being lower in the electrochemical series is discharged preferentially. So OH ion loses one electron to the anode and becomes neutral OH. The combination of OH forms water with liberation of oxygen, which is given off at the anode. So this is the anode reaction, children, which is given. Note, since as sulfate ion migrates to the anode and hydrogen ion have been discharged, the concentration of sulfuric acid will decrease at cathode. So at anode, the discharge of OH ion disturbs the ionic equilibrium of water, and to maintain it, more water ionizes. So the excess of hydrogen ion thus produced and the sulfate ion present increases, and the concentration of sulfuric acid at anode. So children, it may be noted that total acidity at the anode and cathode is unaffected and the overall reaction involves just decomposition of water. Now children, we say that thus there is decrease in acidity at the cathode, at cathode, increase in acidity at anode. So children, we say that the net concentration of this electrolyte remains the same. Now we come to the ratio of hydrogen to oxygen is 2:1 by volume. In the electrolysis of acidified water at anode, OH ion loses one electron and becomes neutral OH, and the combination of OH forms water with liberation of oxygen. So 2OH plus 2OH gives us 2 water molecule and 1 oxygen molecule. Since children 4OH neutral particles are involved in the equation, so 4 electrons are lost in order to get 4OH neutral particles. Thus, the formation of one molecule of oxygen at anode releases 4 electrons, and there is a built up of electrons in any part of the circuit. The reaction at the cathode must take up 4 electrons. So children, 4 hydrogen ion receives 4 electrons from the cathode to form 2 hydrogen molecules. This shows that the number of molecules of hydrogen is twice that of oxygen molecules if 4 electrons in both the cases at electrodes at anode and cathode are involved. So according to Avogadro law, a molecule of can be substituted by volume. This we study in the previous chapter, that is the mole concept. Hence, electrolysis of water give 2 volumes of hydrogen and 1 volume of oxygen. So 2H2O plus electrical energy will release 2 hydrogen molecule and 1 water molecule. Now children, we come to the next apparatus, next electrolysis, that is electrolysis of copper sulfate using platinum anode and copper or platinum cathode. So children, here we see that electrolysis of copper sulfate solution we use by using platinum anode and copper or platinum cathode. So we use an inert electrode as well as we use the active electrode also. So electrolyte is saturated solution of copper sulfate prepared in distilled water with a small amount of concentrated sulfuric acid. This concentrated sulfuric acid is used to increase the electrical conductivity of the electrolyte. Children, we set the apparatus as shown over here. So we use the platinum electrodes both at the cathode and at the anode, and children, the electrolyte is copper sulfate saturated with water and a little bit of concentrated sulfuric acid to enhance the electrical conductivity. Now children, when dissociation of aqueous copper sulfate takes place, the following ions are released, that is copper sulfate gives copper ion and sulfate ion, and water molecule gives hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. So the particle present are copper ion, hydrogen ion, sulfate ion, hydroxide ion and water molecules. So ions present are copper ion, hydrogen ion, sulfate ion and hydroxide ion. So the reaction at cathode, children, as you know, the in cathode both the positive ion copper ion and hydrogen ion will move towards cathode, but since copper is low down in the electrochemical series, it will get discharged in preference to hydrogen ion. So the copper ion are below hydrogen ion in the activity series, thus copper ion discharge in preference to hydrogen ion to form neutral copper atoms. So copper ion gains 2 electrons at the cathode and form copper metal. The copper atom deposit themselves on the cathode. Then children, reaction at anode. At anode, the sulfate ion and the hydroxide ion both migrates to the anode. The hydroxide ion being lower in the electrochemical series as compared to sulfate ion discharge to form OH radical. The neutral OH radical reunite to form water and oxygen. So 4OH loses 4 electron to form 4OH neutral. Then 4OH combines together to form 2 molecules of water and 1 molecule of oxygen. So the product form at anode will be oxygen gas and water will be there in the electrolyte. So product at cathode, pink or reddish brown copper is deposited, and when the deposition of copper ion is completed, then electrolysis of water starts taking place. So hydrogen gas is liberated at cathode and oxygen gas is liberated at anode. Now children, here we have to note one thing, that copper sulfate solution is blue in color. We already have studied the colors in acid, bases and salt. So copper sulfate, the blue color of copper ion in the electrolyte solution fades due to the decrease in copper ion, and finally the solution becomes colorless as soon as copper ions are finished. So we see in this electrolysis, when we are using the platinum electrodes, that the color fades, the blue color of copper ion fades and it becomes colorless. Now children, during electrolysis the oxidation of non-metal ions always takes place at the anode, and the reduction of metal or hydrogen ion always takes place at the cathode. Now children, we are going to study again the electrolysis of copper sulfate, but here we are going to replace the electrode, the platinum electrodes, with the copper electrode. And as we all know that copper electrodes, children, are active electrodes. So electrolyte is same, aqueous copper sulfate solution, and we add little bit of sulfuric acid to it, and electrodes, both the electrodes cathode and anode are made up of copper. We set up the apparatus as shown here, and dissociation of copper sulfate in aqueous takes place. Copper sulfate breaks up into copper ion and sulfate ion. The water present in the electrolyte breaks up into hydrogen and hydroxide ion. So ions present are copper ion, hydrogen ion, sulfate ion and hydroxide ion or hydroxyl ion. Then children, reaction at anode is same, that is copper ion loses 2 electrons to form a copper ion. So sulfate ion and hydroxide ion moves to anode, but neither of them are discharged. So what happens, due to the nature of anode, the copper loses electron more easily than sulfate ion and hydroxide ion, because copper anode it itself ionized to give copper ion. So there is the difference children. At anode the copper metal, that is the copper electrode, the copper in that loses its 2 electron and it forms copper ion, and so the sulfate ion and hydroxide ion they do not get reacted, or there is no change in these ions at the anode. And children, reaction at cathode, both copper ion and hydrogen ion they migrate to cathode. Copper ion discharge at neutral copper atom by accepting electron as it is lower. So the cathode reaction in both the cases children are same, but the anode reactions are different. Now children, product at anode is nil. But what happens children, the copper electrodes start diminishing in size, because the copper atoms get changed into copper ions. So nil, because copper anode keep dissolving during the reaction as copper ions are formed, and product at cathode, pink or reddish brown copper is deposited. Note the electrolyte aqueous copper sulfate may be acidified with traces of dilute sulfuric acid. This enhances the conductivity of electrolyte and may prevent its hydrolysis. Now children, this is very important here. Copper sulfate solution we have electrolyzed in two ways, using inert electrodes and using the active electrode, that is the copper electrodes. So the difference in reaction is at the anode. In here the copper metal loses its loses its electron to form a copper ion, but in the other case which we studied here children, here the anode reactions are, so the reaction at the anode was that hydroxide ion was losing its electron, it was forming water and oxygen. So this is the difference which we must know here. And children, here the blue color of aqueous copper sulfate solution remains unchanged during its electrolysis due to the copper electrodes. The reason is that for every copper ion discharged at the cathode as neutral copper atom, a copper ion is released or added to the solution by the anode, and hence the total number of copper ions remains the same. Therefore, the blue color does not fade. And hydrogen ion and sulfate ion and hydroxyl ion do not take part in the electrolytic reaction and are known as spectator ions. So children, this you must know. And children, these are the four examples, or these are the four examples of electrolysis which are there in our syllabus. We have to learn them by heart. And today we are going to end this session here only, but we have to continue this chapter in other videos also. I hope you are following the videos on this chapter, and whatever problems you have, you please let me know in the class, in the chemistry class. Thank you children.